Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're jumping into a really key chapter from one of Japan's greatest novels. We're going to try and answer a simple but pretty deep question. How do you actually forge a legend?
So our story starts in the total chaos after Japan's Great Wars. You gotta picture it. It's a world where everything's been turned upside down, and that line between being a soldier, a survivor, or just a straight-up thief has basically disappeared.
And into this mess walks our main guy, a young survivor named Takazo. He's got this almost superhuman strength, a scary kind of fierceness, but he's like a hurricane without an eye. All this power, but with zero direction. Just raw, untamed energy lost in a broken world.
Back in his own village, they don't even really use his name. They just call him the Young Demon. And, that's not just them being mean. It really gets to the heart of who he is. He's more like a force of nature than a person, and frankly, everyone who knows him is terrified of him.
He's on a path that really only leads to one place, a short, violent life and an even more violent death. So you have to ask, what in the world could ever stop a force like this? How do you even begin to tame a demon?
Well, the answer shows up, and it's in the form of this really unusual man, a wandering Zen priest named Takuan. And believe me, this guy is anything but your ordinary monk.
Takuan is a true original. He gets offered this super prestigious job as the head of a major temple, and he lasts all of 3 days before just taking off. He wants nothing to do with power or money. He'd rather just wander around like a beggar. To most people, yeah, he seems a little crazy.
But underneath that weird exterior is a mind that sees the world from a totally different angle. He's always asking these big questions, poking at the nature of reality itself, trying to see the connections that the rest of us just miss.
And this is exactly why they call him the tree-climbing priest. It's a great metaphor, right? While everyone else is down on the ground, lost in the weeds of daily life, he's got the perspective to see the whole forest. And he's the only one who can look at this demon, Texo, and see not a monster, but a powerful soul that's just desperately lost.
So how does this strange monk even approach a task as impossible as taming a demon? Well, when Tako is finally hunted down, he's cornered, he's starving, he's like a trapped animal. Takuan doesn't fight violence with more violence. Nope, he does something nobody expects. His whole strategy comes right out of Zen philosophy. See, he gets that you can't beat rage by just fighting it. That's like, trying to put out a fire with gasoline. Instead, you have to cut off its fuel source. You've got to get to the fear and the pain that's underneath all that anger.
So instead of a big physical showdown, Takuan challenges Takazo to a battle of spirit. He finds him at his absolute lowest point, and instead of throwing chains on him, he offers him a bowl of hot stew. And with that simple act, he starts to gently chip away at all those layers of rage and pride that have built up around the man inside.
As Texo wolfs down the food, his hands are just trembling like crazy from hunger. And in that moment, all that terrifying ferocity, it just melts away, and all you see is this pitiful, vulnerable human being. That is the first crack in the armor, and it's the exact opening Takuan was waiting for.
Under Takuan's very strange mentorship, the beast starts this incredible transformation. And this isn't just about calming him down, it's about completely rebuilding him, giving him a new reason to even be alive.
First thing, he's given a new name, Miyamoto Musashi. Now in this culture, a name is a huge deal. It helps shape your destiny. So this is way more than a new label. It's a new life. And with that name comes a brand new challenge. To stop seeking just strength and start seeking meaning. To stop seeking just victory and start seeking enlightenment through the way of the sword.
This is a total 180 on his entire life's purpose. Takazo, the demon, fought just to survive, running on pure raw instinct. Musashi, the seeker, fights to understand. He's driven by discipline and this search for what they call the way. This ideal state of harmony between your mind, your body, and your spirit.
And this, right here, is Musashi's new philosophy in a nutshell. For him, the way of the sword becomes the same as the art of arranging flowers. It's all about understanding and channeling the life force that flows through everything. It's not about destruction anymore, it's about creation and life.
But Takuan's job isn't done. His influence doesn't just stop once Takezo's tamed. This mentorship, it's not a one-time fix, it's a lifelong thing. He stays this guiding force, this kind of spiritual compass for Musashi, always pushing him to go deeper.
And this is so important. Takuan's method isn't about giving Musashi the answers.
It's about sparking better questions. He's constantly pushing Musashi to see that true mastery isn't some finish line you cross. It's a path that you walk forever.
And here's the core of that whole lesson. Takuwan's greatest gift wasn't that he tamed the beast in Musashi. No, it was that he taught Musashi how to tame himself through constant self-reflection and the humility to know there's always, always more to learn.
And it all comes down to this. His ultimate teaching, the final lesson, wasn't some piece of advice. It was a question, a kind of paradoxical riddle that gets passed down from master to student, and it's a question that would define Musashi's entire life.
Think about that. What is sword fighting without a sword? Just trying to answer that question is the real beginning of the way. It's the puzzle that finally transforms a simple, brutish killer into an icon, a true legend. And it's a question that reminds us all that real mastery is never about the tool you're holding, but about the clarity and spirit of the person wielding it.